welcome back to your pick a card. As we get started, thank all of you guys for tuning in today. We have group 1, the dragon, group 2, the starfish, group 3, the ace of pentacles. My intentions were set on what he thinks of you. Okay, cross watchers are welcomed. If you need more time, please pause the video. The timestamps will be made available in the description box. And you can visit us on Etsy. Check the store out, astronauthucci.etsy.com, as we get started. Don't forget to hit the like button. It's like giving an energy boost to the channel, and I totally appreciate it. If you don't like it, give me a like anyway, and then just tell me in the comments what I could have did better. We'll go ahead and start with group 1. Okay, group 1. You have my fiery, feisty dragon. Okay, it may not be feisty. This is a spirit card. So they see you as a very spiritual individual, regardless of the relationship that you guys have. The dragon is someone who has like this fierce willpower that can get anything done. Like even when you don't have it in you, you still have this battery to keep going. Now, I hope that isn't like a battery in your back, because usually when I hear that, it's like, what's fueling you, or sometimes hyping you up to do something. For others of you, it talks about your true self. So seeing one's most true self. Some of you, this person sees themselves in you, or at least what aligns you guys together. There's a balancing of the ego. So either you help this person balance their ego, or there's something about how they see yours, okay? Now, the dragon sees everything. So it's like you don't miss a beat. And I could totally resonate with that, because I don't either. And I can tell you there's a handful of people that do not like that. Your essence has been with us since before the first breath. So it kind of gives like this timeless personality. They may see you as an old soul, a friend, okay? And even if it's a lover, at the least this person does see the friendship. So I don't know what the nature of the relationship just yet, but we are going to pull some additional cards. It talks about witnessing the omnipotent energy. Even if for a brief moment, it helps us surrender and let go. So there are moments of good times, even if you guys don't have the best times, okay? Now you also have allowance, which is a 9. And allowance is, to me, one of the key factors in manifesting. When I think about the 369, when I think about what I was taught, like as a kid, the patience to deal with something, or bravery to change it, or contentment if you can't, to the willpower to do it, or whatever. Allowance could come in that. They see you possibly in a favorable aspect of the ego, allowing, okay? Now, if there's an unfavorable aspect of the ego, then maybe we didn't allow something to happen, and the dragon could be forceful, right? Now, in this deck, it says the frequency of allowance invites us to be open to whatever comes our way without any judgment, without opinion, without fear, and without resistance. When we allow, the universe becomes our partner and the wondrous dance of existence and expansion. So this person may or may not have felt that you allowed the situation to unfold. The throat chakra, there may have been something within the communication realm, all right? The throat chakra talks about truth, how we express ourselves, and our ability to articulate our emotions. Maybe someone did or did not do that, but the frequency of the throat chakra, the blue flower of life, supports our self-expression and our sense of peace and balance. Now, your additional cards that came out, yes, there are additional ones. All right, let me get them. Right here, we have our beautiful tarot cards and your bonus oracle card here. Yes, I like blue a lot. Ooh, we have conjunction, and I love that infinite symbol. It gives me 8. There could be something significant to Leo, the Lion's Gate portal, and or August. Now, infinite with the yin and yang, with all of the rays in the back. and the rays, okay? I think that that's pretty significant for you guys, and we're going to talk a little bit about it. For the tarot cards, yes, patience most definitely is a virtue. Something probably was over as soon as it started for some. Now, this isn't for everyone. For others of us, it seems like there is an individual that has great potential, but the finances or the livelihood and stability may not have been where it wanted to be, where someone wanted it to be in the situation. And they could have been, intimidated by that, and or looking for someone with more confidence, okay? Now, for some that the situation started as soon as it ended, it just seemed as if there were some differences in beliefs as far as like how fast things should go or how slow they should go. Some didn't have, I guess, enough ambition or drive, which they could have felt led to the discomfort. Now, this doesn't have to be an intimate partner. It could be, because I know for millennials and some of my star seeds, there are a lot of spectators that want us to be a certain way based on their generations or their expectations, right? Like doing something traditional or orthodox when you'd prefer to think outside of the box and just being indifferent. For some of you, it's like spirit guided you through this situation because despair was just a part of your karmic energy or just the dharma of what this is going to bring you. Because the World card is a very super dope card that talks about wrapping up cycles. And if I were to ask what cycle was wrapped up, it could talk about this Five of Pentacles. Now, some of you could have a cosmic allowance coming that has taken its poor sweet time because you've gone through situations to build your confidence and know your worth and value. So you're going to get more out of life. All right. Now, I think coagulation and the World card may have a connection. So we will go over coagulation. For some of you guys, this could even be a long distance relationship or someone that you may have met on the internet. Doesn't have to be for everyone. Now, for a few of you, there's a person that this Five of Pentacles could represent them, and they see you as the World card, like you actually could complete them. You're very confident, possibly female, and it just talks about you seem like you're on top of your game. Now, this person in despair or separation could be making their return if you will allow them, but they're taking their sweet time. And I think if and when this situation unfolds, you could be pretty surprised because this man in this barrel has no idea that this pentacle is coming in to help. So I like that. I like it a lot. The Six of Pentacles does talk about receptivity, reciprocity, and like give and take. So if there wasn't equal give and take, if egos got in the way, if temperament, and expectations got in the way, I feel that is the reason why this situation is like looping in that format, and or how it comes back into fruition and completion, or how it ended. Okay, so with coagulation, very beautiful card, and I love the colors. I love the fact that they implemented spirit up in here. Coagulation talks about, a union, love, divine, and infinity. Look at that, boo. So this card is for love. During this stage, we witness the miraculous work of two opposites merging to create a unique third form. Sun and moon unite to reveal the entire cosmos, and black and white unite to reveal the spectrum of color. Now, unlike coagulation, so it's another card. Okay, so unlike coagulation, connoxio represents whatever. I guess it's another card, and they're speaking the Latin phrase. So we'll just say that unlike the other card, right, that's not present, this one presents a conscience and benevolent union. Ooh, so this person, now some of you, child, you could have come out of some situations, okay? It may have been challenging, but since you've allowed yourself to progress and mature, as well as slow down and be open. Some of us, with the Knight of Pentacles, it could even talk about our standards. Like the Knight of Pentacles isn't all the way where they're supposed to be at. And for some of you, that could also, with this Five of Pentacles, talk about not having everything that they need, okay? with this particular card in the world, it's like some sort of improvement, and this union even brings out the best of a person. So I think that's super dope. It talks about the opposites arising, and it ignites something. And I told y'all, it literally says that experiencing this is one of the blessings of the human experiences. Whether the bond is with a human, nature, or divinity, recognize it by stirring of your heart, an element of surprise. So if this isn't a person, spirit is basically then bulldozed into your reading, because the dragon could also represent that spirit that is keeping you afloat in times like this. It's like, I've heard you, and if you allow me, I'm going to help you do this thing that you want to do. And for some of you, this thing that you want to do could be in alignment with your journey, which is usually what you had to get to, this perfect, the stars aligning or whatever. And I super, super appreciate that for you guys, group one. Now, acceptance comes up again. So here's allowance with the 9. This card talks about acceptance. It says, unlike the other card, this card represents a conscious and benevolent union, one that springs forth from awareness, acceptance, and devotion. I absolutely love that. Imagine this person was like, I got something for you. But it's like, I don't know. It's like some of you, oh man, okay. I have experienced that. Now for some of you, like making promises and bending over backwards for a person, because that's how you get that dragon spirit anyway. Just imagine like doing that, and the person can tell that like you don't have it to give, or you don't even have the energy, but it's like always willing to help. Even if you don't have, you really don't have that room to give. That's crazy. So it's like the communication may be off a little bit for others of you, where the differences in belief could have led to whatever you guys are experiencing. But it's like with patience and time, if you'll allow, the situation could transform. Now, if you're saying, I'm totally over this person, I just wanted to see what the motherfucker felt. Well, pick up some of what I'm putting down, and or for some of you, those karmic relationships don't even matter, because spirit is here like, I've heard your cry, and if you allow me, I'm going to help you with something that's more important. Now, if helping with something that's more important has to do with your finances, your livelihood, and or your belief system, it says that we may have manifested or allowed those relationships out of reasons that no longer serve us, because you're now confident, you're now independent, you're now standing on your own, getting to your boon or your auspiciousness. So how that person sees you could be just different from what they had in mind for whatever it is that they want. Because I can see an individual saying, I don't tolerate that at all, because you're a confident person that's headed into this amazing outcome that spirit itself is guiding you to. So some of who you are may not fit every shoe. It just isn't. If you are a person that's had to endure turbulence on your own, and then you have your own way of life, your own standards, and someone else that isn't giving to you as much as spirit could, or that you can give to yourself, sitting here telling you what to do and how to do it, and then there's communication issues. It's just like Kojak and Cujo, please. Okay, so that is what I have for you, group one. I enjoyed that, and we are going to get to group two. Group two, you have my beautiful starfish. Now, I love me a good starfish. Okay, I have to, oh my God, what was that? I'm going to bring out my Texas accent. I love me a good starfish. Okay, maybe it's my Aquarius moon. The star also could just simply point to the star card. The star card sees someone as an unrequited love, right? It's kind of like above their pay grade for some of y'all. Now, feel free to interchange the roles, though. If you feel like, it's me, I think they're too good to be true. Can't take my eyes off of you. Hey, that could be possible, all right? The stars just minding their business on the pedestal, taking center stage. Or they see you as a person that may want that. Either you want it or you deserve it to be put on a pedestal, because the star means that it's your show. It's all about you. And that isn't a bad thing. As we unfold the cards, and yes, I'm over here looking for y'all guidebook, because I like to also implement little things from the illustrator too. Verbatim, because it's like certain terminologies that could click, in your mind. And you may even get secret messages. I've been doing pick of cards about how they see you. And then you get some news you could use toward this other thing that's in the back of your mind. So, beautiful, alluring, uplifting, ooh, artistic and expressive. I super love that. You also have prosperity here, so I won't even go into the shadow energy because I was about to. Okay. Surrender and prosperity talks about a guarantee. When this card appears, it's important to ask, am I being swayed by outside appearances? What dreams have I put aside to please others? So there's an aspect of this demographic that points to that. And that's why I talked about the star. It's like, it doesn't have to be unrequited love, but it's like, sometimes it's like superficial or shallow. Other times it's beautiful and alluring. Two things could be true. And it's also based on perspective. So this doesn't mean it's how you are. Doesn't even mean it's 100% how they see you. It's just something in the situation may not seem genuine. Okay. From either party. Because prosperity is giving me like, the root chakra is actually, it governs our prosperity, right? So if I were to think about the root chakra with the, oh, thank you, Spirit. Oh my, I wanted to do that. Jesus Christ, this is so cool. So I've been doing a lot of your guided meditations and chakra series on my quantum healing channel. And I some of you guys could be like, how are you teaching people? You didn't know that shit. I didn't really put prosperity and some other things in the root chakra. I know that I thought it was more like sexual desires, 3D, stability, your experiences with the authority figures and stuff like that. Some of that is actually in the sacral chakra. So, okay, I'm gonna get to that. That just crossed my mind. It's in alignment. Just chill. But I noticed that when the hangman is upright, the root chakra is above, the crown is below. So I thought about that affecting somebody's decision making, right? And so if the root chakra is above, it would put those things, I feel like, more in the present moment until, the hangman is in reverse and, has that enlightenment, that aha. So like I said, I know that there's something in the back of the minds of some of you that may not have anything to do with how this person sees you, or it may. Now, talking about that root chakra being up there and the crown chakra being down there, because of this surrender and prosperity, for some of you, very beautiful beings, I feel like either they think you are, or they are possibly coming from a place of, I want to say desire, because I'm not going to say what I said. Some of y'all knew, y'all don't know me like that yet. And I don't want to be mannish or whatever. But if somebody is thinking with the root, right, that's pretty much saying they thinking with the genital, or they're thinking with some region of them that harnessed, desire and things of that nature. And with this beautiful and alluring card, some of you group 2, you do it for them like that. However, that's not real and it may not be authentic. And I feel that either someone knows that or feels like something is missing. So the surrender in the hangman card could just talk about being stuck. Others of you, this star talks about like a star seed or a being that is prolific, right? So prosperity with the hangman as well as the starfish, it just points to them seeing you as an individual that's very special and very gifted. And I feel like beautiful, whether that's inside out. So I think that that's super cool. Now and you have additional tarot cards too, and an oracle card. So let's just put them on the table. All right. See what we got here. Here are your tarot cards. I'm going to get right over there to them. Surrender. This is the number 39, which is a 12, which is a 3. Okay. And then that's a 6 and a 3, which is 9. That's crazy. So you got 3, 9, and a starfish, or 9, 3. Oh my gosh. Every man and every woman is a star. That's what my friends say. And 93 could be significant to some of you. They find you to be a very unique individual that may be unconventional. I think that that's super dope. Or like a bride. For some of you, that's crazy because the, I don't want to make them something outside of me. A group of friends, and we share some of similar beliefs. There's a concept of like this spiritual marriage or whatever. And the bride is kind of like what the chick represented in not the Golden Dawn. Now I'm telling on myself. The kids and the vampire and the wolves and stuff like that, Twilight. And so the bride represented this huge change and shift in life. It was very deep and ancient and spiritual, but yet everyday girl next door is random, right? No one would have thought that she could have appeared to be who she was. And the people around him didn't understand why he chose her. Yet, by the time they solidified the relationship, the ancients saw her in action and was like, what a bride, because her gifts and her abilities started to show and increase. And so this little girl next door who was a $125, maybe 5'1", pale skin and dingy clothes, ended up being like this queen that would bridge in and even change the generations to come without effort. She didn't try to, she didn't want to. It wasn't her destiny or calling. It just happened, and she just flowed through it. She didn't resist it, and she didn't even manifest it. And I think that that's kind of dope. Some of you may resonate with if it's for me, it's for me. And that is totally true for a lot of you, which could be prosperity and abundance. I think that is so cool because like you have the 9 and the 3. So it definitely talks about balance. And then the 33 could be like self-mastery. And so with the starfish or a star and mastering, it's like you're at the top of your game, or at least you have it within your birthright to be like something great. And I think for some of you, they see that in you. So that's amazing. We have the 2. Now this is how they came out. I'm sure of it because I remember you guys' cards. You have the High Priestess, the King of Swords, and the 2 of Wands. These are like my favorite new deck. Look at them. They're so pretty. Okay. So the High Priestess is, in alignment with this beautiful being, this unrequited lover. Now, you could even see them like this. Because for some of you, it's like, I know some of you resonate with it, but there's someone here or some of you that don't really feel this person would think that. You just wanted to know like the honest truth. But in all fairness, if your person comes in as the King of Swords, they're not very emotional, and they don't really communicate their emotions. They look at bottom lines, and I feel like if you guys are not speaking or in separation, they standing on it. Don't get me wrong, because you're like, if they feel all like that, why ain't call, or why we're not talking? And it's like they can see from a distance. They could be watching you from a distance, because here is the High Priestess. She connects with the moon, and this individual sees the moon, at the distance with this flame. The 2 wands. One is in the little emergency breaker. One is in its hand. So it's like, if I'm using the 1 wand, it just talks about that thinking from the root chakra, because the wand, in like, intimate discussions, does represent a phallus, right? Or the male part. So, oh, damn. not watching you with the with the flame in his hand. Jesus Christ, but why is the flame behind him? That's too much. Okay, so I think for some of you this is an X. Okay. If the King of Wands is asking us to surrender anything, I feel like it's standing your ground. Some of you may have come to be nosy and see how someone feels about you that is a part of something you had to move forward from. So stand your ground, beloved, whichever one of you is in here just being nosy, and continue to see the world as your oyster beyond this individual, because you are a star, totally valuable, deserves to be put on a pedestal, may have a platform or some sort of talent you should be showcasing. And then there's those of you that I said are waiting on some sort of insight from the high priestess, some sort of answer, or like to take some sort of direction. Now, the King of Swords, if this has anything to do with direction, is facing forward, but his sword is raised to the past. And it looked like he already took a jab at it one time. So for some of you, this individual or this person has done whatever they did, refused to cease, cut off communication, or whatever it is that they do more than once. But then at a distance, somebody unseen in the dark on a journey, headed back to the past, is trying to figure out how to get there. And then that could also be the person that doesn't communicate their emotions well. It's like, well, how do we always get back here? Or how can I get back to them? But at the same time, there's this stubbornness of someone standing their ground. Now, others of you, there's a plan, because the King of Swords is the general. And before I go into any battle or war, I'm going to peep the scene. So they could be peeping you and not speaking. And look at the war, okay? The war is a spiritual war. It could be the shadow side versus the light, and blending these opposites. It's like, well, how do we do it? And that is the person that could be wanting the high priestess or their higher selves, source, or spirit to answer that question. It's like, in this war, what are we defeating? Or how do we win? And for some of you, this sword, like I said, raised to my left, and the smoke also on the left just says that dealing with the shadow or possibly gaining a new perspective could help the situation. Okay? Because his hand is calmly planted on the seat when it comes to the future, but the future is more of a bright side. The future talks about spirituality. So to see the world as your oyster, and to have that ship come in, I feel there has to be some sense of peace and calm, as well as standing on whatever it was that was defeated or problematic in the past, which, like I said, for some could be the shadow. Now, the shadow side of my high priestess is an individual that's everything I said she was, but to the demise of personal relationships. Someone who's spiritually gifted, but it's not all stable. I'm not going to lie to you. Like, those are some of the attributes of the high priestess in shadow. It's like, technically a nutbag. And I know that could be a derogatory term, but it's okay. I mean, some people could call me a nutbag. That don't bother me. So this person, if they think that, okay, it's like that's why they're keeping their distance, but still see you as everything that I have here. It's just like they're waiting on the right moment. Because ain't no telling with the high priestess, like, which part of her do I get? And if I get this part, I got this sword raised, which means there's a change in perspective where I have to cut off something that I'm thinking, and or I have to protect myself, okay? Or protect my thoughts. And if you're the high priestess, then you may want to consider your perspective, as well as a change, if necessary, in your thoughts, to now see the world as your oyster, because the unrequited love, or the person that's kind of stuck on an individual in this root chakra energy, just imagine you were like the Kundalini process, which rises through all of the chakras. And if we can't get past the base chakra, we got to go all the way up to the crown. So this is like the relationship needing to go all the way up to marriage, the friendship needing to go all the way up to vulnerability and intimacy and trust. And if it's stuck at the hookup, the fighting, all the shadow energy of what the root chakra could offer us, as well as financial discomforts, because if prosperity is crossing somebody, they could see you as the truth, the answer, and the light, child. But this root energy needs to be nurtured. And I say that because if the root chakra is imbalanced, instead of, they tell you, look at red. Red is the color of the root chakra to bring it back in balance. But actually, grounding yourself and implementing green, as well as kind of like implementing the heart chakra, because the heart chakra works as a magnet. It improves your magnetism. So it will heighten and enhance like anything you're trying to manifest, or rebalance. And that's why you have the green with the third eye. It's like surrender to the things, the inner knowing, or waiting on the call. Okay. And then with prosperity, you have the root chakra, is the center, of our focus for the most part. But the other chakras, along with the little divine feminine, you know what I'm saying? And how this is given like Wheel of Fortune and Ten of Cups. That's crazy. Because it's talking about fate and soulmates and how all of that kind of like intertwines. Now, for some, that'll cut your ass off because you crazy, and you be gossiping shit. So the superficial, and because I can't leave that out because I am real cookie baker or whatever, but a superficial, shallow person that is indecisive and easily irritated because they are unstable, is how somebody sees. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not going to hold you. If I were to lie about that, then how can we improve? How can you mend this relationship or not self-sabotage another one? So there's that. We can't see you. Don't nobody know it's you, but don't deny the truth. Okay? Like Drakey will be saying with the Stink Team, we know the truth. You know the truth. Okay. So Spirit is telling you that actually because you guys got the breath card. The breath card literally talks about the breath of life. The breath of life can not only help us enhance the chakras, heal ourselves, but guide us through these tangled webs of soulmates, because some of them are not our forever people, and it's aspects of ourselves that we grow out of that even led us to them. Okay. Now the breath of life is also a Sade song. So for the person who I'm telling you, don't get caught up in what I'm telling everybody else, because this is collective reading. It's not personal. But when Sade say, you gave me the kiss of life. Jam that song. You want to know how they feel about you? Play that song today, because that is in alignment with this starfish, prosperity, surrender. The challenging aspect still is the King of Swords, and so it's like maybe they can't communicate this to you, and maybe you guys are not in communication, but somebody's waiting, and I feel like it could be it could be, I'm looking for a word. Somebody's waiting, and I'm thinking it could be favorable, but the reason why I laughed is because sometimes the Page of Wands is who I see in the Two of Wands, and the King of Swords gets very irritated by that energy, and sometimes the Page of Swords, because it's like they're ambitious and optimistic. Oh my God. So the beautiful things that are super cool about some of you or one of you, this person kind of gets irritated by it. That is crazy. I don't want to cut you short. If you're enjoying it, you are welcome to get a personal reading or compatibility report. And stay tuned for group 3. Group 3. We are about to get started with your video. You guys got the Ace of Pentacles. Now, I will say, everybody else received an animal spirit. You guys got the Ace of Pentacles, which comes from Spirit itself. Okay, first of all, it may be pretty unique because it's more like 3D. So let's unpack it. You also have some oracle cards and additional tarot cards that we're going to go over. All right. Now, for the most part, I mean, the Ace of Pentacles their true feelings, because I don't know all of your situations, okay? Someone could be dealing with a Capricorn. Others of you, it's like this magician type energy where I don't know if they're like a bad boy, bad girl type, but they could see you as a person that, you know, kind of like goes against the grain type deal. The Page of Pentacles is someone that you can grow with. Now, if you're in a relationship, it's clear that the relationship has a lot of potential for both of you. It talks about stability, sensuality. So it's sexual for some of you. And we're going to unpack just how much of it, because group 2 had a little bit of that. And I mean, it's not bad. I do feel like it's kind of cute, because what relationship or situationship or secret admirer, you know what I'm saying? It's really going to be engaging with our chemistry. So I think that that's super dope, because it's not like toxic, fiery, obsessive. It's logical, you know, in a sense. So the logical aspect of it too is the interest in you. So that's why I said, and that's the first time that I said that today. So group 3, you could even have a secret admirer if you're sitting here like just randomly popped up on the video, right? And it's like, I don't have a person, or I ain't thinking of nobody. This also talks about the logical interest, or some sort of interest in you. Someone that could be guarding themselves too. Maybe for someone here, maybe they feel that you're guarded, or they're just guarding themselves from you. Now, for some, it's like a career, finance, material, you know, success in various aspects of your life. And that's not bad that they feel that's where the opportunity to grow comes from. You know, it's from your success. So you also have, belief and curiosity. So baby, look. 11 is a very spiritual number. It's a master number. 15 is also a master. You know, someone who has mastered the 3D. And everybody gets all doom and gloomy when we speak of Capricorn and mastery. But it's an individual that could have mastered the materials. And we're on a material plane. So it doesn't mean you making a deal with the devil child. But for some of you, this is a karmic situation. It could be a karmic contract, like spiritually embedded into your soul purpose. And how they see you is just that. So it's like you're above some chick or some dude that they met at the bar. It's maybe a little bit more complicated, and has probably more longevity to it. Now, belief talks about support of the senses, self-worth, okay, may be involved. You could have stood up for yourself, or they appreciate that about you. It could also be based on your gifts and talents and a strong connection to source. So for some of you, a very strong connection to source. They see you as a very spiritual being, or just like a master of the spiritual aspect, where for them, some of them could be, you know, on the road to mastering the physical, or maybe already have. And so that could also be, you know, the benefit to your relationship or friendship, or what complicates it. That kind of talks about the lovers, okay? Now, some of you, since I said that, they could see you as a choosy lover, where you have choosing with emotions and spirit, what's, you know, in alignment with that, and then choosing from the physical or desire, okay? So how you go about it, or how this evolves, we will see. You also have 3 tarot cards. Let me get them for you, as all the groups did. Beautiful deck. Oh my God, I said deck. Okay, for all y'all nasties. And you have an oracle card that is very interesting, okay, because it says against nature. Now, it could be my own intuition. So feel free to use whatever you see from it. When I saw curiosity and belief with against nature, I felt that there's something against one's nature, or it has something to do with this situation, okay? So them to you, you to them, the scenario itself, I don't know if it's, you know, they feel they could bring you down because you're on a spiritual path. And others of you, it could be breaking out of that overly, you know, conscious energy into being more curious about life, this relationship. Now, somebody could be more curious about you because you're a very unique spiritual person. Now, I'm going to get into this card too, because it's like really interesting, where it's like nature or natural is this circle. right? Whatever circles represents. But then there's this going against nature where it's a square, right? So we have the square and we have a circle, and I don't know if it fit in there like that, okay? So let's see what we have. Yeah, okay, so for somebody, we got the Five of Wands, which isn't bad, but we're going to talk about it. We also have the Magician, and then we have the Queen of Coins, all right? And notice that she's facing the past, and in this particular deck, like facing forward could talk about the present. His back is turned to me as she's turned to the past, you know, gripping comfortably this pentacle. So let's understand that. So all that I said about how someone sees you, look how it's above all else, okay? So someone that may be putting the pentacle, which is the lesson, which is finances, which is something materialistic or a physical material, above other things, okay? Now, maybe even something that I tried to give you in the past, now I see that you're interested in it. And it would be crazy. Now, this may be just for one person, but just imagine you being in a spiritual connection or a situationship with someone who is non-committal, and then you turn around and they get married. Child. Because it's like, I thought, and I tried, hello, type deal. So, let's unpack it. Now, the Five of Wands, with the Magician, it gives me like some sort of challenge. It's kind of like competitive nature. And with the Magician, it's kind of like not really mastering things and having a lot of potential, but not necessarily in a logical, practical way. So maybe that's the challenge. Some people have curiosities and spiritual gifts, but when we're unable to apply it practically, that could be hindering toward practical relationships, okay? There could have been a conflict or strife that is blocking the progress of this friendship or this relationship, which could come up in that square, which talks about against nature, okay? I know the square is also the Emperor energy, and the Emperor and the Magician do have a connection. If this is a current situation and you guys are in communication, we do have Mercury retrograde coming up in August. So just be mindful of communication mishaps, okay? Where there's some differences in opinion, where somebody is very structured, organized, and kind of like good at administrating things. And the other person is more so a creative and kind of like manifest things. That could be challenging, that may make somebody feel competitive, but it's the same thing that gave them curiosity to oblige the situation in the first place, which is very interesting. Now, there's a conflict of interest in the belief system that someone has and possibly the belief system that you have, where everybody's trying to find something. Somebody's trying to find some money. Somebody else looking for God, child, okay? So there could be like a conflict of interest in you guys' belief systems. Some of you, this person could see you as aggressive. And so the Queen of Coins is here to give us a little bit of grounding, a little bit of schooling, and it talks about the lesson in this situation, where our beliefs, as well as how we impose those on others, is sometimes what pushes that, you know what I'm saying? Now, in your natal charts too, there could be a square that even if you don't try to kind of make it annoys somebody, and I ain't gonna hold you. I had a partner like way back in the back, right? Way long time ago. And I looked at our natal charts, and that's what I started noticing about natal charts. The more the compatibility, it's like the harder the relationship. And I noticed like one or two friends that I had, one was a serious relationship. The other was just somebody, you know, because I was going through like as a young adult, I just typed everybody's shit in because I just was curious. See? So it seemed as if the reports gassed me up. And those ones were like, ugh, you know? But then the ones that it shows low compatibility, they could have been more practical, you know, relationships with like higher percentages of success. So my point is, in the relationship where we had this square, and I don't know, for some of you, it could be the Mercury sign, the communication, I don't know, how you come across, but we had our sun squaring something, right? And I try not to like feed, like let astronomy control the present situation, because I understand like fate and destiny. But each person that I have this particular one square with is an individual that no matter what they do, it just pulls out this certain aspect of me. Now, hopefully, it doesn't pull out the magician or the devil, okay? But if it does, it makes a flaky, non-committal energy, or an obsessive lover energy. And there's no in between. And so this, starting it and ending it, talks about balance and says that you probably would do better, or they probably would do better with a practical person, and there's not a whole bunch of attraction, a whole bunch of emotion, there's not a whole bunch of intelligence, it's just grounded. I'm not going to hold you, because I love to learn. I talk a lot, but I don't talk from an intelligent point of view, because it requires like big words and citing books and shit. I've spoken on podcasts and on social audio apps, and they'd be like, well, where did you get that from? This shit comes out of my ass. Like, what are you talking about? God is in my body. I think it. I said I'm intuitive. I also am college educated, but I don't cite shit like, oh, I read it in this book, this one. So I probably wouldn't do well with a highly intelligent and a person that want to sit and talk about shit like that. I also probably wouldn't do well with an over emotional person that's super emotional. Like, nothing is wrong with it. It's beautiful. Like, oh, I'm gonna open all the doors and I'm gonna get you roses and I'm gonna be sensitive. You stomp your toe, I'm gonna rub your back. If you have a bad day, I'm gonna rub my fingers through your hair. Just like very into it emotionally, very, that is great, but I need balance, because too much of anything kind of like makes me nauseous. If somebody had too much money and didn't have shit else shaking for them, that's not the person that they choose to be the superhero in the movie. Maybe I'm unrealistic. Neptune been in Pisces for a long time, but I don't want the person that just has it all either, because what am I going to give them? So I'm giving you guys examples of somebody has a square possibly in the chart that doesn't work well with something in your chart, and it brings out an aspect that's usually triggered by you guys' belief system, or like something within the spirit that is lingering in the psyche, if that makes sense. Because sometimes the devil card and the shadow energy with this 5 of Wands and spirituality is giving me like dark energy, aggressiveness, like combative, just bad in the motherfucker. It's just like somebody who got a kid, because it's usually children in the 5 of Wands. And so children's are also considered creations. Creations could also be tied to spirits. And then spirit with, you see how they blowing this air on it? It's either going to ignite it or pull it out. That's my whole point. It ignites you ignite them, or you cool them off. It's like no in between. And I feel like this is just between you and me, or probably how this person feels, even if they didn't communicate it with you. It's just that grounding could help. School could help, because the magician, just like me, I do have degrees, but if I didn't, has the capacity to pull shit out his ass, and probably right, because he's just lucky, right? But to practically apply that in social settings or intellectually or whatever, licensing, school, grounding yourself could help, because it's like the jack of all trade or non-committal energy. Now, as we talk about commitment, this does talk about a physical marriage. Okay? This physical marriage with this Queen of Coins, which she would be the wife in this sense, and this person could be seeing you as that. And What I don't like about that is, now hold on. For some of you, somebody's seeing you as a cash cow, which is against the belief system that some of you guys have, or just the society that we're in. If the man want to wear the pants and be the leader and the provider and the protector, but your broad is providing and protecting, that's going to interfere in the relationship, because I'm cool with providing, but I'm going to put the pants on. And the dude might say, nah, I'm wearing these pants. But you taking on the pants role. Because that's that certified lover boy shit, you know, or just somebody who come and go, toxic as hell for some of y'all. And it's going against, like, your spirit, like your intuition and stuff. Okay, so anyways. With going against nature, I didn't like that a lot, but thankfully that's not for all of you. Most of you, it just talks about how to balance out your differences, to have a practical friendship or relationship. Even if you don't get with this person, the advice on how they see you could be something that you don't really get. Because in the natal charts, there's how we see ourselves, like how we present ourselves, like our sun sign is what we think we are. And then there's an area within your chart, which is actually how you communicate, how others see you. And sometimes it's way different from your sun sign. Ooh, okay, well, we hit it. When I said it's kind of aggressive, maybe sometimes manipulative. You have, on some level, we all know when we're going against nature, we recognize it in feelings of impatience and agitation. See what I'm saying? Yeah. Okay. It arrives when we're trying to force outcomes. Somebody could see that. Now, this is very honest. We got some beautiful messages coming out, but also some beautifully honest ones. Okay. So a little bit controlling with situations that call for collaboration. And if this isn't an intimate relationship, this could also be work. You know what I'm saying? So just be mindful of that. Loosening our grip on what we think life should look like, a whole new realm of possibilities could awaken. So a lot of you in 1 and 2 and 3 have had some things where you got belief and curiosity, which is like spiritual and not. And then the other one's got like this dark smoke and the light smoke. So there's these polarities, or these blended opposites, or I feel like these lovers and soulmates coming together, whether they're coming back up in your mind because Mercury is about to go into retrograde, or it's something in the transits. And I wouldn't be shocked if all these things present themselves in the near future, or by the time you see this video. Okay? Until next time.